Alright, now I want to show you two examples of how to solve for density. There's three steps that you're always going to show in these problems, and you must show all three steps each time. I'm trying to build muscle memory in you on how to solve for these problems, so you must show all three steps. The first step will always be to write down the equation. The equation for solving for density is density equals mass divided by volume. And there's two different problems here, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on both sides of the equation, or both sides of my board here for both problems. So density equals mass divided by volume. Now mass is measured in grams, and usually the problem will mention the word mass. And then volume is either measured usually in cubic centimeters or milliliters. Those are the two most common units used for volume. And once again, that's mentioned in the questions, and usually is accompanied with the word volume, so you know which one it is. So if we look at my first problem, it says an unknown rock has a mass of 10 grams and occupies a volume of 15 cubic centimeters. Will it sink or float in water? Well, I've got my formula here. The second step is to plug in your measurements. So I keep the D equals, my mass, as it says in the problem, is 10 grams. So I put down 10G for 10 grams, and it occupies a volume of 15 cubic centimeters. So that's 15 cm cubed. Then the third step is to solve the problem. So I'm going to get density is equal to, and then whatever this number is. Now in order to be able to do this, I must do some long division. You can't use calculators, so you're going to have to divide it out by hand. So the number on the bottom goes on the outside, and the number on top goes on the inside of your long division. Now 15 cannot go into 10, so I've got to add a 0. So I put a decimal point, and then I put a 0. I have to carry that decimal point up here. So I know that 15 doesn't go into 10, so I put a 0 there, but 15 does go into 100. It goes into it approximately 6 times. Because 6 times 5 is 30, and I add 3 to 6 times 1. So 6 times 15 is 90. And I subtract 90 from 100, and I get 10. Now 15 doesn't, I know that I got the right number, 6 there, because 15 can't go in 10 anymore. But I got to carry this out to do 2 decimal places. So I've got to add another 0. And I had the same number, 100 again, so I know that 15 can go into 100 the same amount of times. So I got a 6 there again, which makes 90. And it's going to keep going like that, so it's going to be 0.666666. But I only need to go out to 2 decimal points. So the density of this unknown rock is going to be 0.66 grams per cubic centimeter. And then the question asks, does it sink or float in water? Well, the density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So anything with a density less than 1 is going to float, and anything with a density greater than 1 will sink. Well, 0.66 grams per cubic centimeter is less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. So the answer to this question is that this rock will float. So there's one question. Now let's go to this other question. Once again, I have my formula because I have to write that every single time. And then the question reads, an unknown substance has a mass of 46 grams and a volume of 20 milliliters. What is the unknown object? And then it gives me a list of objects over here that I can choose from after I solve the problem. So step 2, after I write my formula, is to plug in the numbers, the measurements. So it has a mass of 46 grams, and it has a volume of 20 milliliters, which is 20 M with a big L, 20 milliliters. Well, once again, the bottom number goes on the outside, the top number goes on the inside, and I just have to put 20 into 46. Well, 20 goes into 46 twice, and that gives me 40, which leaves me 6 left over, because 46 minus 40 gives me 6. Well, I can't leave any remainders out here unless I've already gone my 2 decimal points out. So I'm going to add a decimal point, add a 0, and drop that 0 down here. 20 goes into 60 3 times. 3 times 20 is 60, leaving me with a remainder of 0. So the answer on this one is the density is equal to 2.3 grams per milliliter. So now it's asking, what is the unknown object? Well, I know its density, so I just got to compare it to the densities over here. Well, automatically I notice that my density is measured in milligrams per milliliter, whereas all these are measured in grams per cubic centimeter. Fortunately, milliliters and cubic centimeters are equal to each other. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So I can interchange milliliter and cubic centimeter. So 2.3 grams per milliliter is the same as 2.3 grams per cubic centimeter. So the answer is, it's going to be bone, because bone has that same density of 2.3 grams per cubic centimeter. There we go. If you need more practice doing this, which you most likely might need some, I have a worksheet on the website. Click on that worksheet, work through those sample problems. It's the same worksheet that I gave to you on Friday when I was absent. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You have my phone number. I would text me or have your parents call me first, and then I'll get their permission to talk to you.